Hello everyone, welcome back to FullGrownGaming's Let's Play of Kingdom Hearts. In this episode, I want to start off by going to the deep jungle, and you might be wondering why we would ever need to go back there, and that is because there is another minigame there that I actually I didn't even just hint at it before. I've talked about it kind of at length, the Vines minigame, and I figured, why not just do that now? Because I'm finishing up everything before I, push for the end of the game. I guess you could say I'm pushing for the end of the game right now, but before I make that final, hard push towards the end of the game, I need to clean up pretty much every little thing that there is left, and one of those things is actually the Vines minigame, and I guess the best place to go here would just be the tent, because we have to go back to the Vines area, which I guess makes sense, and the easiest way to get there is actually through, if I remember correctly, it has been a long time since we have been here, but through the Hippo Lagoon, which is over here, and I hope, I was just about to say, I don't ever want to see another one of those power wilds, because I have killed, during my hunt for Ultimate Weapon, I probably killed 500 of those, but if we come up here, I don't know which Vines this is, Vines 2 maybe? Apparently Vines 1, there's going to be something on the ground right here that we can actually examine, and it'll give us a couple of options. The first one is yes, I want to do the time trial, and then we get the jump, trap, acrobatic, and expert courses, which as far as I know are all exactly the same, but there are different kind of facets, I guess, to them. Like with the jump course, you just jump on the vines, and that's it. The expert course, I think you actually have to aim your jumps, I don't know exactly, but I don't have to worry about any of that, because I have the ability to glide, and watch how fast we can just take care of these. You can actually glide from that thing all the way over here without having to stop in that middle part, and it'll be a whole lot faster. I've actually gotten down to times of like 12 seconds doing that, but I don't want to take the chance of falling back down, and even not doing that, I think that was, what, like 13 seconds? Let me go ahead and check here. There are 4 of these that I'm going to need to do, and I'm probably just going to speed up the rest of them, but, under 15 seconds. I think they give us 5 minutes to do that, and that is way more time than we need, but if you want to do it again quickly, all you got to do is jump down from the finish line, and then glide back over to the area where you climb back up. So let me go ahead and take care of all 3 of these, mini games real quick. And there we go, guys. All 4 of them are now done, and as far as I know I keep saying this a lot with pretty much every world that we've been to so far, I think we are done with Deep Jungle pretty much entirely, and I don't know what the point of that minigame is. I don't think it counts towards getting the, the secret cutscene at the end of the game. You don't get anything for completing it. I guess it's just to, flesh out your journal a little bit. But now, guys, I want to go back to End of the World, because I want to get into an encounter with white mushrooms, and I know what you're thinking. I did just run by a whole bunch of white mushrooms, just, right before I went in that tent, but the white mushrooms in Deep Jungle, I think I might have mentioned this in the last episode, do not give you the option of doing the arrow, gravity, and stop, magic spells on them. I just hit my desk really hard, hopefully you didn't hear that. But anyway, you can actually get all of them here. You can get arrow, gravity, stop, fire, blizzard, thunder, and cure. All of them, all the white mushrooms that you might encounter in this room right here, will do all of those magic, different magic spells. Or they will allow you to do those magic spells on them. So I'm actually going to have to do this until I find a room full of white mushrooms. And there's actually a pretty cool trick that you can do. If you save right before you go in there, just save over whatever slot, I guess, you can actually just reset the game by pressing all the shoulder buttons, R1, R2, L2, and L1, start and select. The game will reset, and you can just go back in. I do not want to start a new game, that would have been horrible, but you can just reset or reload that save that you just saved, and keep going back and forth into this room until you find white mushrooms. You might consider that an exploit, but, I mean, it's not really, I guess. You're just reloading a save, and speak of the devil, I cannot believe this. They have spawned, and that floating above the air thing like that is the gravity one. There is one, let me try and remember, there's one where they float all around, or like, kind of like, not that, it's a different kind of floating, I guess. I guess I'll just speed it up until I actually find them. But you have to be careful when you're doing the the gravity one, because it takes a long time to cast gravity, and if you don't do it pretty much immediately, you might not even get it. So let me go ahead and speed this up. Hopefully I get all of them in one, go here. Those white mushrooms definitely did not play along like I wanted them to, but I guess it was partly my fault because I accidentally casted gravity on both of those mushrooms. Apparently one just didn't like it even though he was definitely doing the gravity symbol, but I guess it just goes back to the fact that I said, you have to do it quickly or they'll disappear or they'll get mad at you or whatever. But I guess I'm just going to have to keep doing this until I get it, guys. I will meet you after I have all 3 of these. Alright guys, I finally got all of the arts items, I hope. Fire, Blizzard, Thunder, Cure, Gravity, Stop, and Arrow. I believe that is all of them. Now the funny thing is, it is now a completely different day than when I started this episode, because I was sitting there trying to get the Arrow arts last night, and it was not showing up. Like, they would not use that emotion, or they wouldn't allow me to use Arrow on them. And what I want to tell you guys is actually that if you want to get the Arrow arts item, I would recommend going to Halloween Town and hoping that the white mushrooms will spawn in the graveyard area, because they only use, I believe, Fire, Blizzard, Cure, Thunder, and Arrow, and they never use Stop or Gravity, so that'll, narrow down your choices a little bit. And now that we have all of those, we can actually come talk to Merlin. You're becoming a real sorcerer. Here's something for your effort. And we get Goofy's Dream Shield, which is actually kind of cool, and I definitely did not mean to go up there, but Goofy's Dream Shield is the shield that we had a choice of picking, actually, way back in the beginning of the game, when we could pick between the shield, sword, and, staff or whatever. That shield that we picked was actually called the Dream Shield, I believe, and if we look at it here, I think it should be better than Herc's Shield, and it is not. So apparently it's not even worth it. I don't know why, going through all this gets us a shield that's not even really that great, but you know what? Actually, no, I'm just going to leave Herc's Shield equipped, I guess. And the funny thing is, we're probably going to be getting a better shield anyway. After this episode, or before this episode's over, we'll probably be getting a shield that's better than anything we have right now. But what I want to do is actually speaking of shields and stuff, there is a shield that you can get from Defenders called, I think it's actually called a Defender, that is actually a pretty good shield. And it's a very, very, very rare drop. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and equip all of the, apparently I still have Lucky Strike and all that equipped, and I still haven't equipped pretty much anything down here. I don't know, I have to play with this stuff, off camera or something like that. I don't know exactly what I want to do with it yet, but I need to go ahead and equip the Lucky Strikes on everybody and all that, and go ahead and try and get this Defender. And this is something I'm definitely going to have to cut out, because this is going to take absolutely forever, because it is a 0.1% chance of a drop, without any Lucky Strikes equipped. Lucky Strikes equipped, I'm not sure exactly how high the chance gets, but it's still going to take a long time. Luckily in Traverse Town there are a lot of Defenders, so hopefully it shouldn't take too long, but since I do want to get everything in the game, the Defender is one of those things I need to get, so I will see you guys back here when I actually get the shield. I want to tell you guys a little bit more about the Let's Play curse. Let's go into the statistics of the foray I just went into. In the journal, as you guys probably know, I think I've shown this before, you can see exactly how many of each type of enemy you've killed. I've killed 734 Defenders. That's a lot, and I actually looked it up. It is a 0.2% drop chance for the Defender shield, which I actually got, but that means if you're, math inept or whatever, it's no big deal. That means every 500 kills, on average, you should get 1 Defender. I had 734, I believe. I forgot the number exactly. I think it was 734, but that's not even the 0.2% is the base drop percentage. I had 3 Lucky Strikes equipped, and it still took 200 more kills than it should have, mathematically, so oh well, I guess. Finally got the Defender, which is pretty good. I mean, it looks really cool, I think, and it's pretty big. It's a pretty big, strength increase. Or not a big strength increase, but, better than Herc's Shield even. The thing is, we're about to go to you know, where are we going? We're going to the Olympus Coliseum, and we're going to get a better shield than that for Goofy. So I don't know why, first of all, don't know why the drop percentage is so low. And you know what's funny, actually? Donald, I got 4 Wizard's Relics, or 3 more, for Donald. And that has the same exact drop percentage, and I only killed maybe, you know, 10 or 20 of those on accident, like while I was fighting for the defenders. So I don't know what in the world's going on, but that is a prime example of the Let's Play curse. And if you guys ever try and do Let's Plays, just be prepared. That is all I am telling you guys, for stuff like that to happen, because I think it took like 2.5 hours for that. And you know, if anybody knows how much a Lucky Strike actually increases the drop percentage, I was getting so paranoid that I actually unequipped the Lucky Strikes at one point for not too long, just in case. I was like, yeah, that's stupid. There's no way that it would actually decrease your drop percentage, but it was taking so long I was getting worried. But look at that shield on Goofy. I think that looks awesome, and I do really wish that that was the best shield in the game so that I would not feel as bad for leaving it equipped. But here we are in the Olympus Coliseum, guys. I have a lot to do, and the first thing I'm going to do is actually do the time limit for the Hercules Cup, because that was a long time ago that we actually did the first 2. So I need to go ahead and get all of my abilities and equipment equipped, I guess. And I guess I'll just go ahead and speed up the time trial, and then I will show you guys what we're going to be doing after that. I was actually starting to get a little bit nervous I wasn't going to be Hercules in time there, but luckily I did, and I got a power-up, which I might as well go ahead and use now, because I believe, yeah, I've been slacking on using the stat-up items yet again, and luckily I don't think I'm really going to have to synthesize too many of those, because I am pretty high, you know, in, I guess, level for this area of the game. I'm level 82, which is higher than I expected to be right now, but since I had to kill so many defenders, and, you know, I got ultimate weapon and all that, I'm actually a pretty high level. But the next thing I want to do is actually do the Hades Cup, because this is actually one of my favorite ones in the entire game, because you start at seed 50 instead of like seed 10 or whatever. And the thing is, you get to fight the enemies that you've been fighting for pretty much the entire game, like Soldiers and Shadows. How long has it been since we've really fought these? I know we fought the Shadows in, or we fought the Soldiers in Hollow Bastion, and we fought the Shadows in that Hercules Cup, I guess. But it's just, I don't know, it's kind of like a game in review almost, because we do get to fight pretty much every enemy that we fought so far. But since we have fought all of these enemies before, and there's not really any new ones, except for, you know, a couple that I'll show you, I'm just going to go ahead and speed this up, because like I said, guys, it's pretty much all the same enemies that we've been fighting, and there are, like I said, a couple of new ones that I will show you. So I'll see you guys when I get there. And apparently we get a Genji or Genji shield for Goofy, which is probably not as good as the Defender that we spent, you know, 3.5 hours getting, but it is, I guess it would probably be the best shield that we would have at this point if we hadn't gone for the defender. Let me go ahead and take care of the rest of these enemies. I believe we're only just finishing the 43rd seed. And this is where we actually get our Blizzaga spell, guys. I actually forgot that we didn't even have Blizzaga at this point, but I believe all the magic that we need after this is Thundaga. I don't think we have Graviga or Graviga, however you want to say it, and we also don't have Stopga. So I'll definitely need to be getting those before the end of the game, because if you get all of the upgraded, max upgraded magic spells, you actually get I believe a staff for Donald from Merlin. So like I said, I'll definitely have to be doing that. But once again, let me go ahead and speed the rest of this up. And for beating the 30th seed in the Hades Cup, we actually get Thundaga. So now all we have is what? I think Stopga and Graviga are the only ones left. And for taking out the 20th seed, we get the Lionheart Keyblade, which I actually remember to be pretty good. Unfortunately, not as good as Ultima Weapon, but that fight I thought was always pretty cool, how we had to fight Leon and Cloud at the same time. I don't know why, but it's just kind of cool to see the main characters, of two different Final Fantasy games like that together.
Yo, hey, how you doing, everybody? Yeah, got a minute? Hades, Lord of the Dead, nice to see you. Hey, guess what? I got a place.
And for the 10th seed, we are fighting Hades himself. And I always thought it was kind of weird the first time I played, the fact that we are fighting Hades in the Hades Cup, and he's not even the number 1 seed or, number 2 or whatever. So at this point, I was like, oh my goodness, what could possibly be, the final fight in this cup? It's got to be hard, right? I think the final fight is even easier than this one, even though this one is not all that hard, except the only thing is, I don't believe you can attack him when, well, apparently you can. I always thought you couldn't attack him when he was in this fire phase like this, or when he had red hair like that, but apparently I was wrong. But see, yeah, I knew there was some, I don't know what causes the, the fact that you can't attack him at some points, but overall, this is not a really hard attack or a hard boss by any means, but I would say that he is even harder than the final fight in this cup. So let me go ahead and take care of him real quick, and we'll get this over with fairly quickly.
What are you doing? Stop! Hey guys, get away from me! Oh, come on!
And for that, we get our Gravira upgraded to Graviga, so there is only one more magic spell for us to get, and before we get that rod for Donald. It's actually the Dream Rod. I don't know if I mentioned that. And we also got, I believe, the last Ansem report. And for the final fight, the first seed in the Hades Cup, we get to fight the Rock Titan, which he looks really menacing, but he's really not. As far as I remember, I actually have not fought this guy in probably 5 or 7 years, but as far as I remember, if you just keep attacking his legs, he'll eventually fall down to where you can attack his heads. There we go. See, I mean, it's not even hard. You just attack and attack and attack, and the thing is, for every attack, you get tech points. So this is actually probably not that bad of a way to level up, or you could just try and find a defender and you level up probably 20 times and get ultimate weapon, and by the time you're done with all of that, you'll be level, whatever level I am, like 83. But you guys can see that we are almost done with him already. That was probably not a smart idea. I wonder if he'll, get up if I fall off, but apparently not. If you even, it looks like if you just take him down once, is he getting up or not? Apparently not. I was going to say, if you just take him out one time, I guess he's just done. He gives up, I guess. I actually don't remember what we get for beating this fight right here, though. Hopefully it's pretty good and not like, a defender.
Nothing to it. We're the champs!
Apparently we get Trinity Limit, which I forgot that was even an ability in this game. I don't really remember using it all that often, but I do remember it being pretty good. Now guys, guess what I have to do? I have to do the timed fight and the solo fights just to get, actually I believe we get Donald and Goofy's ultimate weapons for doing those, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut those out entirely because there's no difference at all between the two. As you guys know, we've done this before, so I will see you once I'm done with those. There we go, guys. I beat the Hades Cup all three. We got Goofy Save the King, we got Donald Save the Queen, and guys, I think I am just about done with Kingdom Hearts for the day. Actually, for the 2 days, because this was the first episode that has ever taken place over 2 days. But let me go ahead and equip those really good items on them. I mean, look at that. It's way better than the Wizard's Relic, so I guess you pretty much have to equip it. And let's just watch the Defender get, destroyed there. Actually, it's barely better than the Defender. It looks like it's only like, it raises your MP by 1 more than the Defender. Its strength is exactly the same. So I guess it really doesn't matter at this point because Goofy doesn't really use MP all that often anyway. But I guess just pick whatever you want. I'm just going to go with Save the King because I know it's his ultimate weapon. But guys, I want to thank you for watching this episode of Let's Play Kingdom Hearts. We did a lot of stuff in this episode, and we are very, very close to the end of the game. But I want to thank you for watching this episode, and I can't wait to see you guys back for the next one.